Hi friends, welcome to the Yoga Still. My name is Chrissy. I am a yoga teacher. I am a Reiki healer. And this week I'm giving you a tour of my favorite decks in my collection. Some of these are decks that I have used for a long time. Some of these are decks that have just recently come to me. But this is one of the ones that I haven't had very long at all. My friend Becks shared these in an Instagram story and I was like, oh my gosh, those are beautiful. And then I clicked on the link and just happened to see that they were liquidating the cards they had left. And I'm like, I'm really not sure if these are for me or not, but it really was FOMO. And I've worked some with this deck. I've read more for other people during Reiki practices than I have for myself. And what I found really interesting about these cards is that some cards are very clear, are very like yes, no, stop, go. And some of them are really have a million different interpretations. So I'm excited to share them with you. This deck was created by Bakara Whitner and Christian Berry, illustrated by Kaylee Christensen. The box is a very sturdy box. We have someone getting taken up by aliens on the back. It's a pretty substantial, it's a pretty girthy deck. They shuffle really well. They feel like they're like the Here deck. They're like traditional playing card weight. So they shuffle really well. The guidebook that comes along, I probably should have gotten my glasses because when we read today, we will look at the guidebook just to get a little feel of how the creators, what they intended this deck, the different cards in the deck to represent. So we will look at this later. But let's do a tour of the cards themselves. These aren't in alphabetical order. I had them kind of that way, but then I noticed I just shuffled as we started talking. So they are what they are. We have Trash Magic. I love this card because for me, I get a lot of joy in finding things around. I reorganize things around my house a lot. When I started making my yarn mandalas, I found just random yarn I had stowed away in the house when I was convinced years ago that I was going to knit. So I love this concept of trash magic. And I also love watching renovation shows on TV. We have Mama Aya. At the Crossroads. This card is beautiful. Imagining more. So we have the person in the field staring off at the sun. This is imagery that I see a lot when I offer distance Reiki. That's a powerful card. God is a goddess with the sand mandala being wiped away. Shapeshifter, the moon is always changing. It's not about you, even though you feel like you're on center stage. Yield to reality. Live a fantasy, a vision. So be it, and so it is. This is not a dream. Be your own daddy. An equal but opposite reaction. Elevate. The farm. The cloud. This one's beautiful. Protect your ecosystem. A reminder that your heart is yours and your heart is sacred. The rhythms of fate and the tickings of time. Death is the healing. Feels very death card, very just transitions. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. haunted by ghosts, money, money, money. What a time to be alive. The way home. You wished for this. This card always feels a little, be careful what you wish for, to me. It makes, I get uncomfortable with that card. The dream always comes disguised as the nightmare. Magic is either everything or it is nothing, with all of the 111s occurring. This is a spell with the repeats of 3s. The primary problem with language is its magic. So you're playing yourself has caused a lot of different interpretations with me and the members of the Still. The Still is my my online wellness studio where we have we're studying the chakras right now, and I do a card draw for them every day. And this card came up, and there were definitely different interpretations of this card. I'll let you make your own. I'm so glad you shared yours with me that day, Kate. Welcome to the liminal space. Glitch. Try the opposite. Snip, snip. Expand time. What you love loves you back. That card's a warm hug. Memory lane. Looks like a scary alley. No one is coming for you. I think there are 2 distinct ways to read this card. One is you're all by yourself. It's yours to figure out. But the other side of that is no one's chasing you either. The enemy of intuition is self-doubt. Just passing through. Resets. Is it true there is no other? I see this as like being stuck in the echo chamber, only hearing what we already agree with, what we already know, not being open to anything outside of our own experience because we're stuck in the reverb of what's in our head. This one's very clear. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not normal. Again, very clear. Drink water. Interdependence. The software update. Perception is reality. Don't forget that. Come back down to earth. Break the cycle. What is chaos to the fly is harmony to the spider. Not my monkeys, not my circus. The wound and the gift. Never seen this card before. It's not that deep. Very clear. Be careful signing contracts. Magic is immediate. Same but different. An offering. So if you've watched any of these so far, this is the 3rd deck that has a lava lamp reference, and they make me smile. So there's a real mood with the lava lamp. Padded room. dark night of the soul. The best stories produce better stories. Mirror, mirror. The veil is thin. A magician is only as good as their tools. And then like the hot glue gun is back from the trash magic in the beginning. Close the portal. Tribe of dreams. Check to self. Split spirit or spirit split. You are not alone in this uncertain place. And kind of like the astronaut card earlier, is this a comfort? Or is this a fear? Invisibility mode. This is not how the story ends. Forgiven. Yes. Snake medicine. And rainbow. So I'm going to do a little 3-card reading for us today. I believe that the cards serve as a shift in perception. I personally do not read to tell the future or to tell you what to do. I like to think of the cards as beautiful journal prompts, as beautiful thought starters, as a place to start to question our patterns of belief by experiencing other patterns of thought. I believe that at the time you receive this reading, it will be valid to you in your experience in some way. I believe that there is room in whatever cards show up today. There's room for reflection for each of us. And maybe, just maybe, an epiphany for one of us. All right, so in case you didn't hear it, this card got a deep breath from me, this reading. So when I do a 3-card reading, the first card represents who we are, our present. The second card represents what's coming. And the third card represents guidance. This is our shift in thinking that helps us connect better to the present and what's coming. And to me, this read is very political. This read is very much indicative of our climate in August 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. You know what's going on. You're here. If we made it to the future, you were here. I'm going to the guidebook. So who we are today, death is the healing. Some would say life is the virus, while others assert that we can only fathom death because we were once dead. Nonetheless, death is the door that transports you from this plane to another. If the greatest human affliction is our attachment to our stories, then death is the ultimate healer. Bring with it the relief from the pain and burden of them. Do not grasp so tightly to the trappings of this life that you are unable to see the mercy of this cycle you were born to live into. What is lost will again be found. So I see this death as a representation of the honesty that we've all had to step into, that we thought, I want to speak for me, that I thought as humanity we were at a different place than we are, that the light has shown all of our shadows, and that there's been, even without the pandemic, there's been an awareness of what all we have to fix, and that there's a lot of parts of our society, our awareness, our lack of awareness, that have to die in order to make those changes. I think this is a metaphorical death of our ideals, of our assumptions, of where we thought and hoped we were. And I think that's what we're functioning in right now. And unfortunately, I don't think the healing is here yet. I think we're stuck in this dark tunnel in August of 2020. So what's crossing our path is you wished for this. The thing you want more than anything else is being made manifest. Circumstances that do not support your larger intuition must fall away first. There is grace in recognizing the bigger picture. You are not a victim of these circumstances. In fact, you are the architect of them. Don't you remember laying down these plans? In order for what needs to happen to bring us out of this tunnel, there's a lot of unpleasantness to go through. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of advocacy to do. There's a lot of healing, both of ourselves and of others, that we're a part of. There often isn't an easy step from where we are to where we want to be. It's a jagged, uncomfortable path. And that's where we are. We wished for the change, but we're in the mud of the process. And then the guidance to the guidance to get through these two, the guidance to remember. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what is considered the first letter of the card. That the way that we experience this death and the way that we accept what's coming is here. The dream always comes disguised as a nightmare. And conversely, the nightmare always comes disguised as a dream. One does not exist without the other, and they are generally proportional. In this instance, resist the urge to impose your expectations upon this reality, because it is all unfolding right now. So recognizing that the nightmare we have is also coming. No, the dream is disguised as the nightmare. The nightmare is disguised as the dream. We're in it right now. We're not having this disconnect between who we present and what's really going on. This is a time of exposure of the nightmare, an exposure of the things that we hide, exposure of our ghost, exposure of our attitudes. This is a time of exposure. And remembering that what we see, what we're going through, is the propellant that we need to get what we wished for and to move on to healing. That's where we are today. Friends, I would love to hear your interpretation of these cards. If there's a different read or a sense that you got, I'm super interested. This is a challenging deck for me to read, and I'd love to hear your reactions or what you have to say in the comments. Thank you for spending this time with me today. If you need to take a few deep breaths before you move on from here to whatever else you're doing, trust I will do so myself. And I hope to see you back here soon. Bye, friends.